Alright everyone, welcome along to another episode of Martin's World. And today's 420 news, guys. It's Monday, start of the week, fresh week there. And apologies there, guys, for the late start. I was battling with a bit of breaking news that was just after coming across my attention a couple of minutes before going to air. So I just took a couple of extra minutes just to deal with that, just so I can deliver it to you today. Because I think it is very worthwhile sharing this piece of news. It's very relevant to the show and to the battle here in Ireland for cannabis legalisation. But guys, before I get to that breaking piece of news, I'll just get to the first piece, which is that there was online warnings in Cork going out there last night, and there was online on Facebook. There was a post put up, and I have a photo there of the post. But it was after kids were taken to hospital because they ate a product from an unregulated market. That was my headline and how I put it. But basically, it was these edibles, so these stoner patch dummies. So this is the post that went up there last night, and it said, "Hi lads, these are going around East Cork, and there was young teenagers shifted to hospital, but shifted by ambulance today in Carrigtwohill. It appears it's kids only 13 to 15 are getting them. Just a heads up, and you might want to let your own kids know in case they come across them. I assume the kids are eating them like they are actual jellies and overdosing." It's like, it's very misleading here in this. I removed the person's name because I went back to find the post afterwards, and it seems that the post was taken down. But absolutely ridiculous to see this kind of going up last night. A lot of fear-mongering and what have you. And to be honest, I can't really focus on this piece of news now, actually. I probably should have dealt with the breaking news because it was more pressing than this, but like in this, you've one kind of piece of news where kids are going to hospital because of eating an unregulated product. If this product was regulated and controlled, the kids wouldn't be getting it, to be honest. So it's just exactly as Ronan says, can't hack real information. Like, these people are complete idiots. But look, guys, just be warned out there that if you're getting these stoner patch dummies, they're expensive, and don't give them to kids. I don't think anyone is like the 13 to 15 year olds. I was barely able to afford a naggin when I was 13 to 15. Like, never mind say buy a pack of jellies that are about 40 quid for a pack of jellies. In fairness, like you're not going to be able to get them. And the biggest danger here to people when you buy these is that they're coming from an unregulated market. You've no idea what's in them. It says 500 milligrams there of THC on the packet, but you just have no idea. You have zero idea. So this all needs to be regulated. And another reason why it needs to be regulated, and I see some of the comments there coming up, and it's Podgy says, "Little Collins needs help. Hey Martin, hope you're well, and everyone is keeping lit." So yeah, he's dead right there, Podge, and that was the breaking news I was dealing with there beforehand. And Little Collins, guys, a beautiful cafe above in Galway and also in Kilkenny. Well, I was talking about him last week on Friday. I had JP, the owner of the store, and he shared with me just through a few voice messages there what was going on last week when they were being raided. Well, today he put up another post up on his store that Kilkenny Gardai have just re-entered the shop again in Kilkenny, and they stated they have a 30-day warrant and will be back tomorrow to seize more stock and close down the shop. And he's tagged Gino, Luca, and a few others there to come and give him some assistance. But I wish the news stopped there, but he went on to later divulge that his wife was after having a miscarriage over the weekend. He says she was feeling fine before last week's raid, and Garda today have threatened another raid, and this week, plus stores closure. So again, JP is under tremendous pressure up there. On one hand, his store's been raided all the time, and again, his wife here in this is his business partner, and very much devout to the store. So she too is feeling the pressure that's been mounted upon him by our authorities here in Ireland. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on here. That the state are I would hold them 100% responsible for this. The undue stress and pressure being added on a person going through those early stages of pregnancy. It's that a woman doesn't need that kind of stress, and all their business was doing was selling. It was a CBD cafe selling selling health benefits essentially to people, because effectively you go down there, you buy one of these hemp teas, these CBD oils, and you're going to experience the benefits there that these products will deliver to you. So that's what they were doing for their community. Again, look, I'll show you the store. Like, it's a fine store. Like, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want a store like this in their neighborhood as opposed to some fucking drug dealing thugs or something. Like, the products they're selling aren't even psychoactive. They're not even going to get you high. But will they help your arthritis? Will they help you in numerous other ways? Most certainly they very well could. And it's just very unfortunate that he's been raided yet again, and to have a miscarriage there as well. My thoughts are with JP and his wife right now. I can't imagine what they must actually be going through because of all this. You know, the thoughts of closure of your shop, okay, look, that's an issue. But like to lose an unborn child like that's just, you know, words just can't say kind of how that must feel. Jeez. But shame on the authorities, shame on the Irish government for not engaging sooner and avoiding this catastrophe, because we've had Gino Kenny's bill, we've had Luke Ming Flanagan's bill even before that. Numerous chances the Irish state had to sort this out. But still to date that they've done nothing. Cannabis still remains in the control of drug dealers and the black market out there. And meanwhile, these stores that are trying to operate in what is kind of a legitimate grey area, they're being targeted now by our Gardai during a pandemic as well. Like, surely this isn't essential for our Gardai. Who's in danger there? Like, please justify why this kind of work is essential. But again, like Helen McEntee, Frank Feehan, Stephen Donnelly, the three ministers in charge around this, guys, hang your heads in shame. Sad day for Ireland, and sad day for you guys. You are all responsible for this anyway, in my eyes anyway. I can't see anybody else who could be responsible. So yeah, as Sean says there, guys, sorry for your loss in this, and thoughts and prayers with you. Hope you can remain strong throughout this. Most certainly you will have the support of the cannabis community behind you anyway, and anything you want us to do, just say it, and yeah, we'll make sure that happens. So guys, head over to Little Collins, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Give them a follow there, show them some support, and if you're going to be buying some CBD products, check out their online store as well. So definitely, guys, get out there, show some support online, tweet them, Instagram them, you know, just let them know that they're in your thoughts anyway, and that the whole cannabis community is right behind them. Atrocious, guys, absolutely atrocious. Other news then, guys, and there was arrests in Portlaois after Gardai have seized €187,000 worth of suspected drugs. So Gardai on Saturday investigating the drugs trade in the Portlaois, County Laois. During the search, they uncovered approximately 9 kilos of suspected cannabis with an estimated street value of €181,000. A quantity of suspected cocaine and with a street value of €6,000, and a small quantity of LSD also on weighing scales were found at the scene. A man in his 40s then also was arrested. I have a photo here then as well of the stuff that's been seized. Again, an absolute waste of time here by our Gardai. The majority of the seizure was cannabis, €181,000 worth of cannabis. Again, slap a 20% tax on that there, like, and what could we do there for our communities with the money that could have been made off of this? And instead, we're going to destroy it. We're going to spend taxpayers' money now trying to destroy this taxpayers' money to get the Gardai to go and capture it. And meanwhile, there's just an endless supply of it out there. Anyway, the Gardai have never been successful in keeping the stuff off the streets. It's always been there. So what a waste of time. And pity. All that cannabis now just going to be destroyed. Other news, guys, the raids don't stop in Ireland. Gardai have been busy over the weekend. Yes, they have. Gardai seized drugs and cash in Salthill in County Galway after stopping a car. So one car stop led to a number of searches, and they found all of this cash and a couple of little stashes of cannabis then as well. So in Galway there, in Salthill, The Gardai at around 9:30 in the evening searched a man in his late teens. During the search, they found €250 worth of cannabis concealed in his clothing. And during inquiries into the seizure, they also stopped and searched two more people, a man and a woman, both in their late teens. The woman had €26,000 in cash and a quantity of suspected cannabis herb, and the man was also found to be in possession of a small quantity of cash and a suspected cannabis herb. All three were arrested and taken to the Galway Garda station, where they're being detained under the Criminal Justice Act. Following the arrest, investigating officers obtained a search warrant for a home in Salthill. During the search, Gardaí discovered cannabis herb valued at €2,800 and suspected cocaine then valued at €1,300, with a small quantity of cash also found in the house. So absolutely ridiculous here. Like the Gardaí first find a little bit of cannabis on some man in his 20s here, or a man in his late teens, so about 18, 19. So €250 they find, and then later on, if maybe your man snitched on somebody, I don't know, but in inquiries relating to that first search, they found a woman in her teens, and she was found carrying €26,000 worth of, like, what person out there, young person, 18, 19, has €26,000 just to be carrying it around? Absolutely ridiculous that prohibition is enabling such quantities of cash to be in the hands of such young people. I can guarantee you, like, they do not own that cash at all. That cash was belonged to somebody else, probably paying for a delivery. Maybe they got a couple of kilos and they were just paying their debt. Who knows? But like that money now that they don't have it means that the debt is going unpaid. And it means when these people get out of custody, there's going to be some criminals out there, probably with a baseball bat, kind of saying, hey, you owe me some money. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, and the Gardaí patting themselves on the back as if this is a job well done. Well done, lads. Go away, hang up your coats there, because your hard work is done. You got all the cannabis, didn't you? Nope, you didn't, because there was more cannabis fucking found. A man in his 30s was arrested after cannabis worth over 100,000 was seized in Balgrifin in Dublin. Like, more of it. Like, you think after the first few raids like that they'd have enough, but like, no, like, when you add it up here, like, we're going into the millions now, like the seizures are, again, and this is on top of a 2.58 million seizure there that was found last week. There's an enormous amount of drugs being seized, but yet despite this, cannabis can still be gotten. I know people are having difficulties out there getting it at the moment, but it can still be gotten. But this is a man has been arrested after more than 100,000 in cannabis was seized in North Dublin. The 5.3 kilos of cannabis herb was seized by Gardai and Revenue Customs officers during a search of a house in Ballymain Avenue area of Balgrifin earlier today. The property was searched following a controlled delivery operation, and the drugs, which are valued at €106,000, were discovered. So that's just over 5 kilos. And a man aged in his 30s was arrested at the scene and taken to the Garda station. He's since been released, and he's going to appear now before the Criminal Justice tomorrow morning at 10:30. So again, €100,000 worth of cannabis. This was legal and regulated. Slap a 20% tax on it, guys. What money we could be using there for the community, fixing potholes, you know, pardon the pun, potholes. But again, like, you know what I mean, and tremendous good we could be doing with it, but instead we're wasting money and forcing failed prohibition around a product that the majority of people want. Anybody who consumes cannabis wants it. There's not many people out there who say, oh geez, get that cannabis away from me. Do you know, they don't. Like, anybody who consumes cannabis and enjoys it, that's it. Unlike heroin and things like that, you know, and not to stigmatize people who use those drugs. It's just that when you're injecting heroin and things like that, it's just seen to be a bit more destructive towards you and your life. Not always, but majority of the time it can very well be. But for cannabis users, that's kind of few and far between, really, who destroy their lives because of cannabis. The only times they destroy their lives because of cannabis is when they get fucking caught with it. Absolutely ridiculous, like. And then we go on, you know, you think the Gardaí can hang up their coat, but no, they can't, because they've been busy again. And this is over in Wexford. And this was a post there that was up in their Twitter page. And it was Gardaí sees €66,000 worth of drugs and arrested 2 men following a search operation in Kilmuckbridge, County Wexford. and amphetamines and cannabis were discovered and seized. So again, amphetamines, I'd imagine it was probably a small little personal amount of speed that your man had, like when it says amphetamines, because they didn't actually, in any of the articles relating to this, define the amount. So it was a personal amount. They just loved kind of saying, like, oh yeah, there was loads of drugs there, the amphetamines. But really, it was probably a small little bit of speed that the person had there. But again, you look at it like, what a waste of time and money. And they say two men, then they say in this, but actually in reality it wasn't two men or all that were arrested, because it was a man in his 40s and a boy in his late teens. And I say a boy because, like, when you're 18, 19, you know what I mean? You get treated like a man, but come on, like, you're just an overgrown boy. You still don't know the difference between things. Like, you still have a lot to figure out at 18 or 19. Like, so to call that person a man, it's a bit disingenuous. Like, he was an older boy, in his late teens. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, they're now going to be all that cannabis plant's going to be destroyed, and people out there who need it for medical reasons are still going to be without it. There's people out there now currently who can't get cannabis, and they need it for chronic pain, for other issues, and they can't get it through the Medicinal Cannabis Access Programme or the ministerial licence. So they've been relying on the black market all along. And now they're seeing these posts by fucking the Gardai on Twitter, and it's just annoying them. The Gardai are actually trolling the patients of the cannabis community out there who are unable to get cannabis currently. Do you know, maybe there was patients attached to this grow. You just don't know really the backstories of these raids, but you just can't help but think, you know, because cannabis is a medicinal product, and there's many people out there who do benefit from it, and there's a lot of them who get it from the black market currently because of our ignorant fucking government. And then more raids, more seizures, and this was a man arrested following a 41,000 drugs and cash seizure in County Limerick. And shortly before 4 p.m, and this was last Thursday, a passenger, a man aged in his 20s, was searched and found in the possession of €10,000 worth of cannabis herb and €10,000 in cash. Gardaí arrested a man and brought him to the Garda station. Follow-up searches were later carried out in the Anacotti area, and during the search, Gardaí found a further €1,000 suspected cannabis herb and €20,000 in cash. Gardaí say all the suspected drugs will now be sent to Forensic Science Ireland for analysis, and all of the cash will be sent to the revenue, or to the revenue. I believe that all of the cash seized in these raids, it doesn't go to the Criminal Assets Bureau, it goes right into the revenue to be used for various things: water, roads, taxes. Actually, is it water anymore? I don't know. But again, more wasted time by our Gardaí, our taxpayers' money just going right down the drain. More cannabis going to be destroyed. Absolutely a joke. Like. And then off the back of this, then we've Gardaí making statements like this. Gardaí say recent seizures reflect a booming drugs trade. But in the whole article around this statement, they don't make any acknowledgement that they're losing. Do you know that it's a fruitless effort fighting a war on drugs? They don't ever make mention of it at all. They're just like, oh geez, this is incredible, the work we're doing. All of these coronavirus checkpoints, no, it's great. It's making life very hard for the dealers. Sure, the nightlife, no, they can't go out and mingle at the pubs, so they can't deal at the pubs now anymore. And sure, the dealers have to deliver it now themselves, and they're getting caught. They're getting caught, aren't they? The Gardaí are doing very good now, isn't it? We're fucking turning into a police state. Like, this is ridiculous. Like why aren't the Gardaí turning around and saying, look at all the cannabis we're seizing? There must be some amount of people in this country consuming cannabis because of the sheer amount that's coming into the country. We need to legalise and regulate this and protect the people who are consuming cannabis, because what they're consuming currently is unregulated. Unregulated products pose a serious risk to consumers because you just don't know what you're consuming. The reason we have the Food Safety Authority in Ireland is to protect us, so to make sure your farmer, when he grows your broccoli or your cabbage, and he doesn't use any of these harmful PGRs to make his fucking broccoli swell to be twice, 3-4 times as big as the farmers down the road, you know. But that isn't being done in the cannabis market at the moment, you know. Consumers are at risk of this kind of stuff, and this is why we need to regulate it. And not only that reason, but because of the waste of time our Gardaí are you know, it's spent time by a Gardaí on drugs. It's huge. It's fucking huge. Imagine all the rapists and murderers they'd be able to catch if we took all of the Gardaí out of the drug unit and put him into a rapist unit or a robbers unit. Imagine we did that. Fucking idiots. But there was comments there then in this that the booming drugs trade. Crime gangs in regional Ireland are growing their business and receiving large consignments of drugs for resale despite the impact of the Corona-19 pandemic on the nighttime economy. Guard officers have said most pubs and all nightclubs which are traditionally associated with drug consumption have been closed for almost a year. Parties and other social gatherings are also banned under COVID-19 regulations that aim to combat the spread of the virus. However, Gardai say they are continuing to find evidence of a booming drugs trade with large sums of cash and drugs being seized from Dublin gangs and repeated seizures of medium and large scale consignments in the regions. Gardai sources said a series of fines in the regions in recent days were now typical of fines in small to medium towns and villages across the Republic. Drugs found alongside significant amounts of cash reflecting the level of trade still being conducted by the gangs. It's just lost. Why aren't they saying it? Like, why isn't the finisher of that article kind of like, and we need to decriminalise the drug user and legalise cannabis and, you know, cut the drug gangs at their knees? Because that's effectively what you would do if you were to legalise and regulate cannabis, which is the backbone of the drugs market, in my opinion anyway, because there's so many people out there who consume cannabis. If you were to legalise and regulate that, you chop them at their knees, because the guys out there then that are building their empires off of the illegal drugs trade, sure, it's gone now. The illegal drugs trade is gone. Sure, cannabis is regulated. It's going to be much harder for them to make their money. But no, you'll never hear a guard say that, because they're just too fucking pig ignorant, do you know? But anyway, we hop on over to London, guys. And it's London police say they discovered what is the biggest cannabis farm they've ever seen. And yes, for once, the police actually said cannabis farm rather than cannabis factory. So I think in response to that, I think at this point, it's like midway through the show, I'm going to blaze up a bowl to the London police. Go on, the boys, because they actually got the terminology right for once. It's not a cannabis factory, it's a cannabis farm. So well done to the London police. Guys, blaze them up if you got them out there. Yummy. Lovely critical kush. But guys, the London police anyway, they discovered what was the largest or cannabis farm they ever discovered, and I've an image of it here for you, and it is a fine looking cannabis farm in fairness. You look at it here, it looks like they're staked at the centre, and you have kind of a trellis effect coming down off the centre stake, and they're kind of looks like they're really taking care of the plants, supporting the branches, the secondary, so that they can carry the weight of those fat looking buds, and they are lovely looking buds. And then the Lord said, let there be light, and the lights came on. Look at those lights, amazing. But like you see it here, I don't know, where the cops just messing around and they're turning on and off the lights, so what was the crack? But you can see the difference there when the HPS lights come on, and that orange glow. Lovely. Geez, many a time I've been stood in front of a cannabis grow tent and just staring into it for like 30-45 minutes at the plants and the lights, and just chatting away with the buddies alongside it. Like, Jesus, it's great to look at them. Like, they're beautiful. Like, but an amazing setup in fairness. And the cops there in the UK were assisted with the fire brigade. Actually, you see the firemen here assisting the police in London. And this was in the Hackney area of London, and they discovered over 500 cannabis plants inside there, spread across the 2 floors of an abandoned warehouse. The team, with the help of the Hackney Fire Brigade, found the largest cannabis farm any of them have ever seen, and that was the Hometon Police account, the Twitter account there of them. They tweeted that. And that the plants have been removed and no arrests have been made, and a police spokesman confirmed inquiries are ongoing to identify those responsible. In other words, they don't have a clue who done it. But it's interesting that they're saying there's 2 floors of this abandoned warehouse full of full-grown cannabis plants. Abandoned warehouses, guys. Is this not a problem in our towns and cities, like across Ireland or the UK? Like you've people out there. Oh, what can we do with these abandoned warehouses? You know, all these empty storefronts. What could we ever do with them? Here's an idea. How about we legalise and regulate cannabis? It seems like the criminals are using the abandoned warehouses. Huh? There's a no-brainer idea. Fucking idiots. Like, again, wasted time and money. 500 cannabis plants now going to be destroyed, and a lot of police time spent going after harmless plants rather than violent criminals. You know, well done to the police force there, but well done to them for at least they got the cannabis farm part right. And here's another one for you guys. This is coming out of the UK as well. Kind of the UK, maybe UK and US, because it's GW Pharmaceuticals. They were in the news last week because they were being bought up by an Irish company known as Jazz Pharmaceuticals. Nice one there, Jessica, for sharing the stream. But Jazz Pharmaceuticals, in a record deal of $7.2 billion, they're going to be buying GW Pharmaceutical. But it was a post I put up on See the Future. I came across, and somebody had shared that the GW Pharmaceuticals currently hold this patent, US 20130059018A1, and it's for the treatment of cancer using phytocannabinoids. Yes, phytocannabinoids, as in the same ones found in cannabis. Yeah, the very same ones found in cannabis. They have a patent for the treatment of cancer using these phytocannabinoids. But guys, just remember, cannabis, it's a Schedule 1 drug. It has no medicinal benefits, a high potential for abuse. And don't dare you guys ever use it, because, you know, just one injection of cannabis, guys, and you're all going to die, you know. Heavens forbid. But yeah, cannabis, a plant with no medicinal benefits. But despite that, there's a patent out there from a company GW bought up for billions, and they have a patent for treating cancer with the same compounds out of that plant. And they have a whole extraction process up there. I have a picture here. Like, this is the patent. So the abstract, this invention relates to the use of phytocannabinoids either in an isolated form or in the form of a botanical drug substance, BDS, in the treatment of cancer. Preferably, the cancer to be treated is cancer of the prostate, cancer of the breast, or cancer of the colon. And they have a little diagram here then, but this is the patent, and you've the current assignee, GW Pharmaceuticals, down underneath. The next image here then is the process. So I'll just close off some of these other images. So you see the process here that they have up on the screen. So you grow plants, harvest plants, dry and remove stems, you mill it, decarboxylate it, liquid CO2 extraction, winterization, cold filtration, solvent evaporation, and then you get the botanical drug substance. So what they're saying here, the very first part is you grow plants. So they're acknowledging in this document that cannabis is a plant. Cannabis is not a drug. Because they're not saying grow drugs. They're not saying it up here at the top. They're saying grow plants. Cannabis is a fucking plant. It's not a drug. And it has incredible medicinal benefits attributed to it. But anyway, in this anyway, they just show the process of growing the plants, harvesting them, dry it, and getting down to the botanical drug substance then, which is denied to so many of us through the Misuse of Drugs Act. But yet, GW Pharmaceuticals can patent it. But heavens forbid, if your aunt or your uncle there might develop cancer and you want to get access to cannabis oil because you think there might be potential there because of what you might have read or seen elsewhere, and you're a criminal then for that. But GW Pharmaceuticals, no, they're business people. They're allowed to have patents and all of this crack for it. And the description there of it then inside in it, it was the invention relates to the use of phytocannabinoids either in an isolated form or in the form of a botanical drug substance as a prophylactic or in the treatment of cancer, okay? And then they list a number of other cancers there to be treated. But prophylactic, guys, okay? Just in case you don't know what a prophylactic is. And I've talked about this many times about cannabis and the way in which we should be using it as a preventative, because that's pretty much what prophylactic is. You look up prophylactic on the dictionary, intended to prevent disease. Similar, preventative. Do you know, that's what cannabis is. Cannabis is an amazing preventative medicine to be used as part of a daily healthy lifestyle for people who can tolerate it at whatever doses. You know, I think why people have such an intolerance to THC at the moment is because they get zero exposure to it. You know, you see there with patients who work up tolerances. They're able to tolerate very high doses where when they started off the treatment, they weren't able to tolerate that high a dose. It would have made them what you would have called stoned. But look, anyway, look, just be aware. There's patents out there for cannabis and cancer. Don't let anybody tell you that the plant doesn't have medicinal benefits. Is cannabis a cure for cancer, guys? I am not for a second saying cannabis is a cure for cancer. Is it a treatment? Is it a preventative? 100%. It very well is included in those categories for me. If I was to get cancer in the morning, I most certainly would want to be including cannabis and phytocannabinoids in a regimen of battling it. Other news, guys, then getting close to the end of it there, guys. Actually, as I noticed after motoring on through it, and it's the Super Bowl. And in the Super Bowl, just to get it up there now, boom, cannabis ads. Sorry, there it is, the Super Bowl. The cannabis in the Super Bowl has the ads have been still unsuccessful in being aired. And I'm just trying to find the ad here now for you. Give me 1 second. Where's it after disappearing off that? Oh, there we go. There we go. Sorry about all the shouting there, if you heard that. But I've an ad here that was rejected on the... This was put in for the Super Bowl by Acreage. Acreage Cannabis are a kind of an investment fund for financing medical cannabis and research there. But this ad was rejected for it being aired on the Super Bowl.
Austin would have dozens to hundreds of seizures every single day. None of the prescriptions would work. One pill almost killed our son.
I've had 3 back surgeries, and I was on opioids for 15 years. It was a very dark, very depressive time in my life.
After my injury, I felt like I couldn't live with the pain, but I couldn't live with this treatment long term. It was unbearable.
I don't have to live like that anymore. Medical cannabis saved Austin's life.
Cannabis has given me my life back.
There are families in other states having to watch their children die.
I want to see my brothers and sisters who sacrificed so much for this country have access to the safest treatment possible. This really is an injustice.
It's not just unfair, it's cruel.
It's like nice simple ad, nothing fucking bad about it, you know. They're not in there saying fucking free to weed, smoke it up, play some balls. Like there's none of that going on. Like there's just some testimonies in there from patients as to how cannabis has been benefit to them and the conditions that they suffer with. But yeah, you know, they've no problem with airing ads like Budweiser's ones, something like this. And I'm going to mute the music because I don't know will I get pulled for their music. But they've no problem with this one. And it's kind of sad, soppy music being played there, you know. Oh, the dog is after jumping into the back of the trailer. And he's after escaping now, you know, he's lost. Poor fella. Oh, it's a shame. Oh, John, poor fella. Oh, and the horse, you know, the horse misses his puppy buddy. You know, and he's out there lost out in the wild, you know, and he's nearly home and the horse spots him. Oh, and this dangerous old wolf now is almost going to get, oh no, this is a shame. Oh no, poor puppy. But wait, the horses break free. It's good, it's all good. The horses, and guys, they're no normal horses, guys. Yeah, you might recognise those horses. You've seen them before. Your man's hat here might give you an old clue. Yeah. Yeah, no cold one there with the horses. Budweiser, you know, good old Budweiser. There's no problem with airing that on the Super Bowl. No problem with that at all whatsoever. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, you know, that's cannabis for you. It's totally fine. Let's discriminate against cannabis. You know, it's federally illegal, guys. You know, all we're just doing our job. Keeping the information from the people. Absolute scumbaggery. What goes on out there. And then look in one final little piece, just to close out, just on what kind of scumbags are out there in the mainstream media world, and that, because like that's mainstream sports. You know, I reported on Mike Tyson actually there, and how he advertised that he's fight cannabis, and that was great. You know, tremendous thing to be done there. But now Mike Tyson is back on the news today because of his dodgy cigarette. And this was as an article that was up in the Daily Star or the Daily Sun or something like that. Anyway, some shitty whore-eyed paper. Never mind. I had the journalist's name written down there somewhere. But it was up on the Daily Star. That's what it was. The Daily Star. Garrett Bicknell. He put it up there. Cannabis tycoon Mike Tyson smokes dodgy looking cigarette at a Super Bowl party. Like, in fairness, like a dodgy cigarette, like that's what I would picture a dodgy cigarette here seen on the screen. Not what that Mike Tyson has there in his mouth. That's just an hand rolled cannabis cigarette. Like there's the headline there just so you can see it yourself. Cannabis tycoon Mike Tyson smokes dodgy looking cigarette. Like, what's dodgy about it at all? It's from a legal regulated industry. He actually grew it himself in his multi-million-dollar Tyson ranch. Do you know, so poor journalism here by this dude. Absolute poor journalism. Cannabis is going mainstream, and it's these guys, they're going to be forgotten about in time to come. Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully. But that's it there, guys. That's all from the 420 news, just to finish off that dodgy piece of journalism. But again, guys, just to remind you on that earlier piece of news to go back and to support Little Collins, guys. If you didn't hear the earlier piece of news, go back and check it out. Go and support Little Collins. Check out their Twitter page, Facebook, Instagram, and head over to their website as well and make a purchase of some of their CBD products there as well. Some lovely products over there. Always heard positive stuff back from them about them as well. So do definitely go over and give them some support, guys. And thanks everybody for your comments coming through there today. I see a pile of comments after coming into the show. I'm not going to get to go through them all, unfortunately. There are just so many of them there again. But thanks. Podge says, yep, I made the choice of giving up tobacco. And well done, Podge, actually. I've been following your journey there on Facebook and stuff. Fair play to you. And keep it up, man. Don't give up that anyway. 6 days off now and enjoying my green in the pipe till my vapor comes. Happy days. Good to hear. Yellow Mellow says, they keep saying keep it local, and we are screaming at them, just free this plant to let our farmers grow and open shops. Something good has to come from this pandemic. Keep it green and local. 100%. I was talking to Gary Hughes there actually the last day, and we were touching on that subject alone about how his cafe, it was selling pretty much all locally produced cannabis, which was amazing thing for it to be doing. Knowledge is power adds in, prohibition makes availability scarce, driving up the price and contributing to the booming market. If people had availability, they wouldn't be desperate to pay 500 an ounce. Dead right, man. All this is going to do, all of these recent raids is going to do is give a reason there for the guys out there selling the drugs on the black market, a reason to put up their price. Do you know, cannabis is, you see that raid there now last week? Oh, guys, yeah, that 50 bag there now is €75 now. Do you know, that's pretty much what goes on. And meanwhile, the supply actually, it's not really too affected. Podge says, wow, that's a fine setup. It was actually a lovely setup, it was. Kitmar says, haven't sparked up in about 5 months out of the fair for my job. Lots of drug tests. That's a shame, man. It is a shame because, sure, you could probably go out for a pint there on a Friday, Saturday, even a Sunday night, and you'd have no problem then at work on a Monday morning, would you? That's just discrimination in my eyes. Hype TCK says, seen a post in Northern Ireland about a company looking daily cannabidiol users for a medical study. Yeah, there was a couple of studies actually came in front of me from Ireland, one from Dublin as well. So yeah, there's a couple of them out there. If you've got links to it, definitely bang them into the comments for people to find them. Other comments coming in there. Knowledge is Power says, the ad is a great example of the power of patient stories. There are so many of them in Ireland, and it's great to see them on Patients for Safe Access. And shout out to Patients for Safe Access as well, because that is exactly what we're about, delivering these patient stories. Because as I said, there's many patients out there currently getting cannabis on the black market who are getting benefits from this black market cannabis too. And their stories are being dismissed as, oh, that's anecdotal, that's, you know, that's not real, you can't, yeah, it's wishy-washy, you know what I mean? We're discrediting them, but no, Patients for Safe Access, we want to give those patients a a platform, unite them, so that they're strengthened in their voice through their numbers. So definitely, guys, if you haven't yet, go over to patientsforsafeaccess.com and sign up. And if you're a patient out there and you want to share your story, definitely do get in touch with us and share your story. Nice one there for that. Knowledge is power. Kitmar says Mike Tyson openly smokes all the time on his podcast. What's the problem? No, exactly. It's just poor sensationalist journalism, clickbait bullshit. Absolute nasty piece of journalism. Poor. But yeah, you know, he smokes openly and he's thinking. He even admitted last time that he smoked right before his fight, and he went out and fought one hell of a fight. What's the problem? Like, it's just the media out to discriminate and stigmatize cannabis, as they always are. And he takes mushrooms as well. Knowledge is power adds in there, and you're dead right. He does. He's openly taking mushrooms on the show too, 100%. Jessica Deegan says all these people could be going into horticulture and learning how to grow an abundance of things. And yeah, you're dead right, actually. And instead of wasting all of this money in the legal system, yeah, you know, you're dead right there, Jessica, in saying that. I think actually there's some cannabis growers who've been arrested and sent to prison who have been skilling up in horticulture. The guy who lost all of those bitcoins, you know, the guy whose bitcoins were at the end of a fishing rod, excuse me, he's up in an open prison somewhere in the Midlands, I believe, and he's doing a horticulture course, and he was growing cannabis for years, selling it on the dark web, and now he's doing a horticulture course while in prison. You couldn't make this shit up, like, it's ridiculous. Stoner, Stoned Egypt, Stoned Egypt, shite, that's probably why I'm dry. Nice name, man, nice name, good stuff. And that's coming in there from Twitch. And Stoner Dan, condolences to him, and sorry to hear that awful news. And Sean says sorry for their loss. Greenbeard says, oh my god, my condolences and my thoughts with JP and his wife. Shame on Blue Rinse Brigade. Blue Rinse Brigade for causing such a travesty. And many more messages like that coming in. So much support coming in there for JP and his wife there, the guys at Little Collins. So guys, do definitely go over and show your support on the different social media platforms that's Little Collins are present on, because they can certainly do with all the support they can get right now from everyone in the cannabis community. And that's all for now, guys. Thanks very much, everybody, for your comments today and for taking part in the show, for tuning in. Knowledge is Power says, thanks, Martin. Good week ahead, working towards reforming drug prohibition in this wonderful country. Get onto your local TDs. And also, guys, just to remind you, on Wednesday evening, there's another talk by Stephen Garland from the Irish Canna Clinic. So you can register for that talk through his Irish Canna Clinic.ie. So check those out. I can't remember who's speaking this week, but definitely do go check it out and sign up, because it shouldn't be missed anyway. He might forget to record it again. But guys, thanks very much. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring the show to you again today. Before I go, I might just blaze up one more bowl with you all out there, guys, and just give you another second or two just to get in one or two more comments. 45 minutes in there now, so yeah, we're not doing too bad, keeping it under the 60 minutes today, so it's always a good aim. So guys, stay blazed out there.